Test. Mr. Crosby.
It's mostly like old. Oh, like after? Like heartbroken, but yeah. Hopefully.
We'll be starting the meeting soon. Thank you for being very patient.
They go home, be like, you wanna go to the mall? I gotta go now before I go to sleep. I gotta go shower.
Are we ready? Okay, we're going to begin the meeting. Okay, action resulting from closed session. The board has returned from closed session, and while in closed session, the board deliberated regarding case number 02-21-222 to determine when the student would be eligible for readmission. In determining whether the student may be readmitted into Duarte Unified School District pursuant to Education Code Section 48916, members of the board also reviewed the documents related to the expulsion and readmission of case number 02-21-22 and shall now vote on the matter of readmission. A yes vote will end the period of expulsion. A no vote will deny the readmission of the student, which will result in the extension of the expulsion period. May I have a motion?
I'd like to motion for a yes vote.
So move.
Second by first by James Finley, second by Mr. Bell.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. While, okay. 401, okay. While in closed session, the board deliberated regarding a recommendation for expulsion in student case number 05-22-23. The board will now take action on the disposition of this hearing. May I have a motion?
Yes, Madam President. I request a motion that student 052223 be expelled pursuant to Education Code 48917 from the Duarte Unified School District for 1 calendar year with placement at Opportunities for Learning. The student is eligible to reapply for admission to Duarte Unified School District, or is it Duarte High School?
It's Duarte Unified School District.
Duarte Unified School District, per California Education Code 48916, in 1 calendar year per the completion of the rehabilitation plan. So I'm
Okay.
requesting a motion with all that.
Okay.
So move.
Okay, first by James, second by Mr. Bell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
401.
forward, 401. Okay. We're going to start our meeting now. Let me see the time, 7:14. Thank you for being patient. I'm so happy to see everyone here tonight. There's a lot of you today, so and it's always good to see everyone's faces here. So, roll call. Mr. Bell,
Present.
Dr. Finley,
Here?
Raina is not here today, Ms. Hoageen,
Here.
and Cece Carroll, me, I'm here, and Sophia,
Present.
and Audrey.
Present.
Okay, flag salute. And today I'm going to have Noelle Doctorian do the flag salute for us, and she works at Maxwell. There we go.
Would you please stand, place your right hand over your heart, and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Rosa will be reading the Believes mission, vision, and mission.
We believe we are a community of learners. We believe learning occurs in a culture of caring and respect. We believe all students are motivated to learn when they are engaged in meaningful work that connects to their lives. We believe expectations do influence performance and outcomes. We believe learning increases when there are high expectations for performance and conduct. We believe we have the responsibility to find solutions that enable all our students to learn. Our vision, 21st century schools producing 21st century students. Provide the knowledge, skills, and inspiration for each student for success in college, career, and life.
Okay, thank you. Okay, adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion? Mr. Bell,
Yeah, so move.
second? Did I do-
Second.
Oh, Ms. Hoyt, okay. Any discussion? If none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 4-0. Reports from student board members. So who wants to start first today? Okay.
On Wednesday, March 15th, the students in the Creating Creators program had the opportunity to interview the American boxing promoter and former professional boxer, Oscar de la Hoya. He gave a speech on how he became a boxer and gave some motivational words to the Duarte Teen Center boxers. He donated a lot of boxing equipment to the Teen Center, and we were able to get several pictures with him. On Monday, March 27th, some of the seniors were able to go to Citrus College to get a tour of the campus and had a workshop. In the workshop, the college counselors showed us how we would make our school schedule and how to pick what teachers we would want for each subject. They told us that it is important to pick the right classes for the career we choose to go for. On April 11th, Citrus College had an automotive workshop at the school. Students were able to check the engine and tires of multiple cars, and Citrus had provided pizza and drinks for lunch. Later that day, we had our open house, and it was a big success. A lot of the parents came, and the whole school board was there, which the parents and staff were really grateful for. So on behalf of everyone there, I'd like to thank you guys for showing up. On the 14th, the Ambassadors Club was finally able to finish the yearbook. It will be included in the senior package for any of the seniors that have bought the senior package, but it will also be available to be bought separately for any other students interested in buying one. On the 17th, the junior students have started their state testing, which will last another 3 weeks. For upcoming events, on the 26th, the students in the Creating Creator program will take a trip to LA for the Southeast European Festival. It will be held at the Writers Guild. We will be able to interview filmmakers and actors included in the films. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. Sophia?
Good evening. So from March 16th to the 18th, Duarte High School Theater performed Alice in Wonderland in the school's Black Box Theater. The lead actress, Mia Robles, starred as Alice and put on an amazing performance with a supporting audience. And since the play was held in our Black Box Theater, it was a much personal and a connecting show. On March 16th, ASB hosted food booths, which is where various clubs such as Environmental Club, Mecha, Boys Volleyball, and many more clubs were selling some yummy foods such as churros, tacos, crumble cookie, and much more. Students are always so thrilled when this event happens because they're able to buy some of their favorite foods on school campus. Then on March 24th, it was the senior versus staff basketball game. The game was super thrilling with the majority of the audience cheering for the seniors, and the close game left everyone excited. The most surprising moment was when the score was 52-49 with the staff down to 3 points, and with 3.2 seconds left on the clock, senior Jacob Mayer missed his free throw, and Mr. Harrington quickly rebounded the ball and hit a half-court shot that tied the game. And the whole crowd went wild, but in overtime, seniors won. But it left many truly impressed with the skills of our staff. So it was a very fun game. Then on April 12th, the seniors and juniors hosted a prom fashion show in which many of them volunteered to be part of showcasing the different tuxedos and prom dresses. I had the pleasure of emceeing the event, and as each student walked down the red carpet, they were in their fun, stunning outfits, and a little short bio was told about them. And these students are super involved in the school, so it was nice to get some representation in there. And the students who participated even got to keep their outfits. So thank you to the sponsors who provided everything for the show, which were Freyer Tux and Windsor. And on 4/14th, Duarte High School Choir performed at the CSVA Festival, showcasing their talent and making their high school proud. On April 15th, it was the annual junior track meet in which numerous volunteers from Duarte High School arrived bright and early to help the coordinator, Miss Hall, setting up, and were the last ones to leave as they all helped with cleanup. High school students had the task of being runners, in which they would take a group of students to the starting line, then from the finishing line to the awards table, and just back and forth all over. Others were in charge of checking in the runners, handing out water, giving out the awards, and handing out the place cards in the finish line. And for many, it was a surreal moment because they remember being in elementary one time and looking up at the high schoolers who were helping at the event. Then on April 28th, Duarte High School Jazz will be presenting Jazz by Moonlight at DHS starting at 7 p.m. They have guest artists like multi-Grammy award-winning Pancho Sanchez and Francisco Torres. Special guests also include Azusa Pacific's Jazz Band and Citrus College, so we invite you all to attend. And finally, our spring sports are happily coming to an end, as many of them are celebrating their senior nights, such as swim and track, and baseball and boys volleyball have their senior celebrations coming soon. And as the year also winds down, and with seniors only having a few weeks left, they are excited for prom, which is on May 6th at the Luminaries in Monterey Park, and for grad night at Disneyland. Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
Yes, open house is on the 27th. We invite you all to come. There will be food there, fun games and activities and prizes. So come out and support our students in Duarte High School. Thank you.
It's very busy right now, I can tell. Everything is from week to week, there's something, and then now still a month left, and we have many more things to do. So, okay, so we're going to follow next by recognitions. Okay.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I'll ask Mr. Rick Crosby, our Assistant Superintendent of Personnel, to come forward to do some very, very special recognitions. We'll also remind all of our folks who are in attendance in the community tonight that at the conclusion of the recognitions, we will have a short recess. Members of the board will have a short recess where there will be some refreshments that will be enjoyed as we transition. Mr. Crosby. And, if members of the board, if you can join us down here, we are going to receive our recognitions.
I put them in order. Good. Very proud of you. On March 16th, we had our Employee of the Year and Teacher of the Year festivities, where we celebrate in-house, and on recommendation from the school board, they asked if we would do this publicly as well to all of our residents and all of our students online. So I really do appreciate the board recommending that and bringing that so that we can publicly congratulate our staff and the amazing things they do every single year. So I will call your name, come up, and you get your certificate and your plaque, and please shake the hands of our board members, and then when we get, then stay over to the side, and when we get everybody together, we'll get one big picture together as well. So our first merit award has achieved recognition for Maintenance Department Classified Employee of the Year, Sulema Artiega. And recognition for Technology Department Classified Employee of the Year, Renee Cardona, Jr. Recognition for Child Development Classified Employee of the Year, Rosa Zarco. Recognition for Child Development Teacher of the Year, Vishal Vesalusmi. Recognition for Mount Olive High School Classified Employee of the Year, Anna Urias. Recognition for Mount Olive High School Teacher of the Year, Laurent Laniquette. Recognition for Duarte High School Classified Employee of the Year, Sarah Brazella. Recognition for Duarte High School Teacher of the Year, Ms. Tracy Hall. Recognition for Valley View Academy Classified Employee of the Year, Pauline Manji. Recognition for Valley View Teacher of the Year, Ms. Katie Rokas. Recognition for Maxwell Academy Classified Employee of the Year, Ms. Martha Martinez. Recognition for Maxwell Academy Teacher of the Year, Ms. Noelle Doctorian. Recognition for Royal Oaks Teacher of the Year, Dr. Tatiana White. Recognition for Royal Oaks Academy Classified Employee of the Year, Ms. Jennifer Garcia. Recognition for Beardsley Academy Classified Employee of the Year, Ms. Leticia Tapia. Recognition for Beardsley Academy Teacher of the Year, Ms. Hannah Rodriguez. Recognition. So these were our classified and teachers of the year. And one more, what we had was our district winners as well. And so I would like to recognize Ms. Jennifer Garcia as our classified employee of the year. And so they've received a check from Foothill Credit Union already, but they also receive a $100 gift card for Schools First, and another larger plaque recognizing for the District Employee of the Year. Our Duarte Unified Teacher of the Year, Ms. Hannah Rodriguez.
Slow down there.
And we have
I'm getting that.
Duarte Unified's Administrator of the Year, Ms. Jennifer Romero.
I had one job.
I just want one more big round of applause and congratulate all of our employees of the year. It just reflects the outstanding job our employees do every year for every student in Duarte Unified.
One time, and that's good enough.
It's okay.
You're fine.
Add that. Add the next one.
Short reception, huh?
Oh, that's right.
We'll do a short reception, 5 minutes. There's cookies in the back as well. Thank you all for coming.
Madam President, we're going to go ahead and reconvene. Sorry, I put the kibosh on everybody's fun. There's Mr. Crosby, do I have another yellow
How are the cookies?
I got oatmeal. I like it.
Oh, you got oatmeal? That's, I've heard people say. I know, I should have too.
I'll give you a 2-minute break. Go. Go, get cookies.
Well, as long as they don't clear them out.
Rick, we got somebody who wants to get a cookie.
But this reminds me of This reminds me of what is this? Oh no, I got mine in here. Yeah, thank you though.
They're sweet cookies, though. Sweet. Sorry, I have.
Want me to kind of frame it?
No, I got it. I got it.
You got it?
Just when when we're back.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready. We're enjoying our cookies over here, but we're ready.
Madam President, 1 second, can you check and make sure back of the house that the stream is up and running?
Let's go.
Yep.
Okay.
Madam President
Yes.
and board members, on the recommendation of Board Member Hogin, tonight we have Foothill Transit to present their changes that they are recommending for their bus services in Duarte. I know you met with them and saw them at the senior center, and thank you for the recommendation and bringing that to our school district as well. As you know, Duarte Unified provides Metro passes to all of our students so that they're able to ride the Foothill Transit and the Metro Gold Line as well for no cost. And thank you for the board for providing that to our students. And I will have Josh Landis come up and discuss any proposed changes.
Good evening. This on?
That one, yeah, that one.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say there was a full house, and then it's my turn to speak. So I was thinking there's a bunch of transit enthusiasts. This would be a great conversation. What's that? Well, this is actually our last, my last presentation for the public outreach, and I was going to say say the best for last. So, thank you for having me here. My name is Josh Landis. I'm the planning manager at Foothill Transit, and as Rick was saying, we were given some of our outreach about the update, and we met member Rose over there, and so we're here today to give an update and kind of share some of the work we've been doing. So Foothill Transit Forward is in our industry, it's a comprehensive operational analysis, similar to a city's general plan. In the middle of the pandemic, we looked at things as before the pandemic and how we kind of rebuild and looking at our system. We had some project goals. It's really like a service plan on how the future with some of the Gold Line extensions, how our routing will look, especially focused on efficiencies, and also the improved coordination, like I said, with the Gold Line and some of the other things going on. Some of the opportunities that we identified, really reducing duplication, which is what I'll be speaking about tonight. We have some routes that have been operating for many years. They overlap and throughout the time, and really a strong focus for higher education. One of our routes that I won't be talking about tonight, but it's connection to Cal Poly Pomona with our Silver Streak line. Frequency, span of service updates, all these things we really aim to go over. Community outreach was a big part of this update. So during the the formal study, we looked at data before the pandemic. We had multiple times where we were having focused outreach projects, and it was in between different peaks of the pandemic, so they would kind of reduce some of the orders. We were able to talk to customers, have in-person events. A lot of our outreach was actually on Zoom, so we did kind of adapt as best we could, but a lot of it was getting out to the public to hear people's feedback. So from all that outreach before, we do have some proposed recommendations. This is one of our local lines, and so with line 272, it travels between the city of Duarte and West Covina about every 30 minutes, depending on the time of day. And the recommendation for this line is to extend the route from where it currently ends at Huntington and Highland to Mountain Vista Plaza, that better connects with the two lines that we do operate within the city of Duarte. And so we operate two lines, line 860 and 861, and so we operate these on behalf of the city of Duarte. It's a little bit different structure compared to the line 272 that we operate ourselves. A little bit about line 860. So this is the current routing of the bus line. It operates hourly service from 6 a.m. to about 6 p.m. Weekday only. When we were looking at ridership, a lot of the ridership we were pulling was pre-pandemic, and so this is the boardings at the different stops throughout the day. And as you can see, the northeast section is really where we focused some of the attention, and there just aren't that many riders in that area. However, the heavier on the west side is kind of where a lot of people are boarding throughout the day. Line 861 is the green route. This operates from 5:45 a.m. to about 8:30 p.m. weekdays, and it also has hourly service on Saturday from about 7:40 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. And similar ridership data, pre-pandemic, heavy on the west and not so much on the east. So essentially what we're doing is combining the lines into one line. Another way to put it was we're canceling line 860 and proposing a reroute for 861. And so that's kind of what we have. That's what we're going to be proposing to our board for our process, and then once again going back to the city of Duarte for that final recommendation. The Spanish service would still operate similar, 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., and would still have that Saturday service. Here's the overlap of line 861 with the proposal for line 272. Line 187 is the one in the kind of purple color, and that would still operate along Huntington Drive with no proposed changes to the study. One thing that has changed over the years, that Footle Transit now has a free 2-hour transfer with a tap card between routes, and for, kind of what Rick was saying, students would still be able to trap for free to transfer between. And so where we are now, this is, we're in the midst of our formal public outreach. This is actually our last presentation. Our outreach period ends tomorrow, and so we've been collecting the feedback for all the different lines. I just talked about a couple of the lines in the study. Overall feedback, we've probably got about 6 or 7 comments from different members of the city. Some people are for it. Some of the people that live in that eastern section are against it, and so we're taking those recommendations. Our board will kind of make that approval process. If implemented, we're aiming most likely for the fall for this to start, probably September, October maybe, and that kind of depends on some of the other timelines. But we did have an extensive outreach process. We had about 13 different meetings. Some of those were on Zoom during this time, and we really aimed at libraries, senior centers. We posted information at bus stops. So really we tried to get out to the community as much as possible, be present, talk to people. And then we had our formal public hearing last Saturday at our office that was also well attended. We had about 130 comments total for all the different changes. About 80 people showed up at some of the different events in person. So for us, that's very well received. Kind of really got out there and got the feedback. So that's all I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions. It's been very fun meeting so far, so if there's ever a time in the future, happy to come and present again. It's a very light environment, so, but yeah, any questions? Happy
Board, do you have any questions?
I do. Well, just a comment, kind of as you had mentioned about the funness of this meeting. Just have cookies on the buses. I think ridership will increase. I see no problems with that. Thank you very much for this presentation. I actually took the 861 bus this morning to work. I work at City of Hope. And so I take it probably a couple times a month. I am one of those people that live up in the sort of the northeast part. And honestly, this new route, walking down to Royal Oaks is not that big of a issue, at least, in my particular case. But I presume you came here to kind of get some input specifically about, students,
Correct.
Using public transportation. And I want to just take a moment to, I guess, applaud the school district and the board for taking the step to get these passes for our students, because I really do feel that this is a critical step in getting people to use public transportation in the future. Because if kids are used to taking public transportation when they're younger, then when they go to get their first job, they're gonna, instead of trying to say, hey, I want to be close to this park or this venue or something, they're going to say, where can I get the closest, bus stop or train stop or something like that. So it really does take a mind shift. And I think we're moving in that direction. And so I think we will see this start to pay dividends in the future. So I'm excited about that prospect. One thing I did want to just ask in relation to this map here. So as it is right now, both the 860 and the 861 bus do kind of a loop around the city about once per hour. Is the plan for this track here to be about once per hour as well?
Yeah, it would be one bus every hour, so it'd still be the same service. So right now we have kind of like a bi-directional, so there's one going this way, one going the other way, and you can kind of catch it. So this would just be one bus. So essentially we are reducing the total amount of service. However, one of the things we're working on with the city of Duarte is they've kind of started to explore possibly what's called a micro-transit or an on-demand type of service. Very, very early stages, but that's something that could address someone like yourself who's in that kind of eastern section, and maybe if you're transit dependent, you need to get around and walking is not an option. We're trying to explore some other ways to solve some of this. It's the first last mile, if you've heard that before.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one of the things we're still working with the city of Duarte and partnering with them. So this would be the fixed route solution, but some of the savings from reducing the overall service could be then used for other types of transit service that are not the fixed route.
Great. And one, in general, so I will also say my two older kids also use this bus quite extensively. And one thing they do not ever take it to school because the timing doesn't work out, but they'll oftentimes take it home. So one thing I was going to ask or suggest, if you're looking for comment, is as the 861 bus goes down Highland and gets as the closest stop to Duarte High School, I think it would be of great benefit to our students if we could have the timing be such that it hits there 15-20 minutes before Duarte High School and CSR start, so that provides an avenue for people to take the bus to school if it works out for them.
Yeah, and that's really the feedback we're looking from the different, because with all the different school districts we work throughout our region, the bell schedules can change, and then even within the cities, some of the high schools, middle schools, and that's really our target. Most of them are high schools, some middle schools. We typically don't see as much elementary schools.
Right.
But with the high schools, even some of the times change. What the challenges in the afternoon come with early dismissals, and so that's where it's hard. Our schedules are fixed with Monday through Friday, but some of the morning, I think we can. Sometimes it's an easy 5-minute adjustment that might hit those marks. So
I think the morning one would be probably the most important, only because after school some people are doing sports, some people are doing activities, so it's really hard to hit that. But for the most part, everybody starts at the same time at both CSArts and at Duarte High School. So I think that'd be really great if we could try to hit 15-20 minutes before the start of school, I could see that benefiting a lot of our students.
Yeah, and it's just a good way to promote it too as an option.
Yeah.
And our start time is 8:30 in the morning for those sites.
Okay. Any other?
I think that's all I had. Yep, no, I'm done.
Just real quick, I would like to find out, have any of your drivers ever had complaints about any of our students' activities as far as, any stops that it seemed like they seem it might be a little too much activity or maybe a little dangerous? I mean, is there anything that we could do as a school district if there's anything that they consider negative at any of the bus areas around our schools? I would like to know.
I appreciate the question. There's nothing that comes to my mind specifically with Duarte. And typically with other school districts, it's very heavily regulated, the school bus kind of charter rules. So we don't operate kind of a school bus system, so we don't get as much of the feedback. We have had similar incidents where there's kind of arguing, some graffiti, things like that, but nothing specifically that I can think of in Duarte. So it's been overall positive. And I believe, I can't remember the year, 'cause everything's a little foggy within the past 3 years. I want to say we started April 1st of 2018 operating on behalf of the city of Duarte. And before then, students weren't allowed to ride, was my understanding. So really, the students have only been riding 860, 861 in the past 4 or 5 years. So it's still relatively new. It was more of just a shuttle, it was a free shuttle around town, and I'm almost certain students were not allowed.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Well,
Appreciate it.
and if I could just make one other comment, I don't know if there was an update to the bus tracking system that you all have been doing, but whatever it is now, it works phenomenally well. Because it's literally something where I can look on my phone and say, hey, the bus is going to come around the corner right now, and it's right then. I mean, it's really, really good. So whatever you guys did recently,
Do it, huh?
it's working.
I'm in charge of sending the files to the buses, so I can't take full credit, but
Okay.
at least I
right.
know that it's working. So that was going
Yes.
to be the question. It's called My Stop. I don't know if you use
Yep,
the
that's
transit
what
app,
I
My Stop.
use, yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
working good. That's good.
very,
to hear.
very good.
Yeah, we did some updates to the website.
Okay.
Real quick, is it a possibility that we can change or add some of the bus stops?
That's something we can definitely work with the city. So as far as the bus stops themselves, we try to space bus stops every quarter mile or so. Sometimes they're a little closer, sometimes they're a little farther. There are some really strict ADA regulations when finding a bus stop, and some of them have to do with the sidewalk space and crosswalks. So if we find that location, we really kind of determine that it's safe, then we partner with the city, and they either put whether it's a pole with a sign or some of the amenities. The amenities are done with the different cities. So if there's a specific location that you have in mind, we can reach out and let me know. We can look into it, and as long as it meets some of those requirements, specifically with ADA accessibility, that's usually we're okay to add.
That makes sense. Yeah, because there's a couple that I've seen, they're kind of in residential areas, and I'm not saying they're not picking up, but maybe if we just moved them like around the corner on Mountain instead of, I want to say it's Lewiston, or I can't remember right now, but maybe just tweaking them a little, I don't know. I think it would be helpful.
And
They're kind of hidden.
Yeah.
Unless you drive down there, you don't know that bus stop is there.
And some of that came from, it was more of a community shuttle around, and so when we took over, we did remove a good amount of stops for ADA reasons. So that was one of the things we looked into. So if there are some stops that we can relocate, we can just work with the city on that.
And the microbus, my mother lives in South El Monte, and I've noticed these new buses that they're like vans. How do those work?
So microtransit, it's been around probably 7 or 8 years, is when it started to kind of really get popular. And so it's a hybrid of a dial ride, paratransit, and fixed route. And so different cities have it. So El Monte, I think they might have partnered with Ubers and Lyfts when they were really taking off. They kind of branched off and tried this model with transit. And the idea was to take you to, I think, the El Monte Transit Center, so you could connect to like a rail or heavy bus terminal. And so there are different costs with that. The model that we were talking to the city about is similar to what Monrovia did with the Lyft program. That there was issues with that as well, but that's some of the different ideas, is to pick people up from their house or a stop, in a smaller vehicle, so some of the costs are lower, and then take them to where they need to go. So it's less expensive operation-wise than like a paratransit or a dial ride and a fixed route, because a fixed route, a bus can't always go to some of these locations. So it's a kind of a hybrid model. There's still costs associated with it, and but there's more stricter. One is accessibility for the vehicles, so they typically are ADA accessible. Lyft and Ubers usually didn't have that wheelchair accessibility, so it's kind of a hybrid model of mixture of the few, and they were trying to make it app-based to be competitive in that market.
Okay, because I saw them, I had started noticing them, I wasn't sure what it was, and I saw a bunch of students running to one, and they all got in, and that's when I'm like, oh, this is a bus.
Yeah. LA Metro, they started it, and then the pandemic kind of delayed some things, but they were trying to attach them to different rail stations with that in mind. That it was most people were living in a couple mile radius, so they would draw the map and say, if you're in this area, maybe it's $1, so it's cheaper than a taxi to get, cheaper than Uber, and still subsidized from the transit agency perspective.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have a question. Just curiosity, when you said the West is very busy compared to the East, what are some of the complaints on the East side? Why they didn't want the buses or so much buses?
I wouldn't say we got complaints.
Or there's
just lower ridership is what I
Low
meant. So,
ridership.
yeah, sorry if I misspoke. So the ridership,
Okay.
the boardings and the lightings are heavier on the west side, because that's people are going to Target, some of the areas over there, and they weren't riding as much in the east.
East side.
Yeah.
Well, right now we have Gen Zs that are waiting much longer to drive. I know that because I have a kid who's almost 18, and they're just now starting to want to do this. But I was just reading something also in the Washington Post that said that even college kids they're waiting till like in their college to drive, because they feel that they don't need to at this point. They have Uber, they have, like you said, public transportation, and it's just they're waiting longer and longer. So they're like, James over here likes to take public transportation, and instead of driving. So I think that's the future for sure.
Yeah, and we try to catch them when they're young, and then now through college we've got several class pass programs with different colleges where they ride for free. So if we can, with the Metro program, we get them in high school and K through 12, then they continue in college and into community colleges and even some of the universities, and then when they get careers, they're just kind of we're trying to catch them young.
And even I work at Royal Oaks over here at the Manor area. I called a Lyft today for someone, so they're actually like that. They don't want to, they're older, of course, so they prefer to also do it in a different manner too. So they're learning to do it that way also.
Yep, very good.
Okay, any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. My pleasure. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Okay, item 11, Superintendent's report. Dr. Emerson?
Thank you, Madam President. I'll echo the sentiments of our speakers and members of the board. The tone and the tenor and the feeling around the meeting this evening is celebratory. Well, there's good reasons for that. We were celebrating great employees, folks who do great work, have dedicated years of service to our community and to the district. So it's fun to be able to recognize and celebrate those accomplishments. I'll also take a moment to proactively and preemptively extend my gratitude and my thanks to Grace Reyes, Brenda Richards, Carol Baroni, and Patty Garcia. And obviously, last but certainly not least, Mercedes Ruiz, as next Wednesday will be Administrative Professionals Day. And I want to just say a special thank you to each and every one of them. I've learned many, many moons ago that leaders are only as good as the people that they have to support them. And it allows us to do the work of servicing this board. It allows us to do the work of servicing and supporting the needs of our community by having really good people to support us and to support our work. And so I want to just call each of those really, really high quality support personnel and really exceedingly great professionals that support our work on a daily basis in recognition of the hard work that they do. Also, we have been hard at work, so I'll take us back to August of 2022, where we held our annual convocation event, and I talked a little bit about the vision for our strategic plan in the district as we move forward. And at that time, I talked about RISE 2030 for our strategic plan as a school community. We have been hard at work partnering with Hanover Research as well as our executive leadership team to really start to move forward with turning in for the board's review and approval in the future, a strategic plan that talks about what are our priorities, our aims, and our goals and intentions as a school district that will guide us where we've worked really, really hard to implement the components of the competitive advantage plan from 2017 through 2022. And so 2023 and beyond, we'll be implementing RISE 2030. I want to extend my thanks and gratitude to the Strategic Planning Committee, which consists of students. I'm going to talk about our students who have participated in just a moment. Principals, directors, cabinet members, parents, community partners have all had their fingerprints on the strategic planning process. We spent 2 days at the end of March beginning to really carve out and develop a scaffold of what the strategic plan was going to look like. We had a follow-up meeting with that strategic planning committee again today. And so it's the hard work and the insights of the individuals that are helping to build the strategic plan that are really going to help develop whatever the future looks like for us as a school district. So I want to take a moment because we not only talk about this, but we actually live it out in reality and people see it. We value student voice, and it's there at the end of the dais, and it supports and services us every single month. And I want to take a special moment to thank Sophia and Audrey as they have served as steadfast partners in the strategic planning process to make sure you're right, Mr. Bell? To make sure that we are keeping the students' needs, the students' perspective front and center. The things that they have contributed, the insights, the nuggets of wisdom that come from our students is utterly amazing. And so I just want to, again, say thank you to both of you for your work and your commitment. The strategic plan is moving forward, and we are very proud about what we're doing, and we're very proud about what we're going to be able to present to the board as we move forward into the summer and into the fall. Lastly, I just want to start to prepare us for all the fun that's going to be happening in just a few weeks when we start to talk about the end of the school year and commencements and graduations and end of the year celebrations. We have worked very, very hard this year. Our students have worked hard, our staff has worked hard, this board has worked really hard, the community has worked hard to continue to move us into I'll call it a post-pandemic reality. Pandemic it's still an issue, it's not gone, but we're learning to manage and to navigate with it and around it. And that's the steadfast commitment and dedication of all of the professionals that are across this district. So I just want to say a heartfelt thank you for the hard work from all of our students and staff and community for the course of this year. And I'm looking forward to all of our celebrations as we conclude this academic school year. And that is the conclusion of my report. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay, so item 12, request to address the board. Do we have any requests?
Yes,
We have
ma'am.
two?
We have two speakers this evening, and I'm going to invite first Ms. Tracy Hall. Good evening, Tracy. You have 3 minutes.
Hi. I just wanted to real quickly, openly, publicly, thank all the volunteers for the track meet. Sophia mentioned it. They worked extremely hard, and I had them working really, really hard. So I just wanted, there were so many. I think we had over like 50 volunteers this year. And so I just wanted to, publicly thank them while I was here. And also talk about the Falcon Fiesta next week, our open house. Come on out. And thankfully, the tennis courts are finally finished. And the water's back on in the greenhouse, so we're going to have fish in there next week, hopefully, and the aquaponics system working back. So I'm excited for that. The environmental club and my students in my classroom have worked really hard to scrape all the algae off of everything that's been sitting there for, over a year, kind of dry and yucky. So, hopefully next week we'll have fish and we'll have plants, and summer we'll have a harvest. So thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy. At this time, I will invite our next speaker to come forward, and it is Dan Irigoyen. Good evening, Dan.
You got a fan.
Good evening, Dan. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd also like to give a shout out to the student representatives for the school board. As a former student representative myself, back in the day when it was real easy to do, in the early 80s. So they did a great job with their giving the information to the school board. I do have to add that the Duarte Unified School District Showcase that was on Tuesday, was a big success. It still amazes me that we can fit all the students in the gym. And, granted, we were all sweating when it was over, but it was a good event. And hopefully it carries on with the music program with the district. The Color Guard have made it to the championships. They're going to be performing this Saturday at Fountain Valley High School for the championships. The Duarte High School Drumline is also in the championships on April 29th. They will be performing at Cal State Fullerton. So, also, the second annual Route 66 Jazz Festival, which is an all-day event at the PAC Center on Saturday, April 22nd, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So, I accept your apologies because I'm going to be there all day with my wife. She's making me go there, and I got to cook. So if you want to enjoy some delicious hamburgers, bring a date. There's going to be about 28 bands, jazz bands there, from junior high school level to high school level and college level from Citrus College. Plus other bands will be performing there. And also on April 28th, our second annual Jazz by the Moonlight with Pancho Sanchez. That event is, all the VIP tables are sold out. Thank goodness. Thank goodness, because we're going to be making a lot of tacos that night. So please come on out. We still have plenty of general admission tickets available, and come enjoy a good show. And that's what I have for the band. I have a parade update. It was originally scheduled for September 23rd, Saturday, September 23rd. We are going to postpone it 1 year for scheduling purposes and things like that. We are tentative for Saturday, September 22nd, 2024. And I've been instructed to work with Mercedes to work on getting the information out to the schools so they can help with coming up with a theme and a design for the parade. So get the kids involved, which is a good thing. So, and I will have more updates as we get closer to that. So, my wife told me to say that I have to talk to you. So, and other than that, again, congratulations to our student leaders there. I'm sure they're going to be like me, hating to be the center of attention when they get older. So, thank you very much. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will get them to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Those hot dogs were really good the other night, actually. I must have been really hungry, too.
Madam President, that's the conclusion of our public comments.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's move on to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of March 9th, 2023, the special meeting of March 14th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Mr. Bell first.
Second.
Second, Rosa. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Item 2, approve the consent calendar. This is the next item of business, is adoption of the consent calendar. Does anyone want to remove any item for separate discussion or action? If none, since there's no objection, may I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move to approve the consent
Mr.
calendar.
Bell,
All second.
second by Dr. Finley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item 3, second reading, approval of board policies. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Mr. Bell? Second?
Second.
Ms. Hoageen? Any discussion? Okay, no discussion. May I have a motion?
Move to
I'm
approve.
sorry. All in favor, sorry.
Aye.
Item 4, policy or regulations, okay. I see here, item 4. No, actually, okay. Just move over? Okay, item 5. Board representative to the Community Education Council, CEC, appointment of member to the Community Education Council, CEC. Okay, so do we have a motion to approve this item?
I move to approve Representative Steve Hernandez as a representative for Rosa Holguin.
A second?
Second by Mr. Bell. Any discussion? Congratulations. Yes, I also. Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item 14. Is that the correct one? Yes. Okay. Proclamation number, that's student services. Okay. Is this right here? Item 1 now?
Yes, 14-1.
14-1. Proclamation number 152223, declaring May 10th as 2023 as Day of the Teacher. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Mr. Bell?
Second.
By Dr. Finley. Any discussion? If none, all in favor?
Aye.
14, item 2, declaring the week of May 14th, 20th, 2023 as classified school employee week. Declared the week of May 14th through the 20th, 2023 as classified school employee week. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Mr. Bell,
Second.
second by Ms. Hoageen. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 15-1, public hearing for options for youth, Duarte material revision of charter. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing for this item, number 14.1?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, Dr. Finley, second by Mr. Bell. The public hearing is now, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is now open. Do I have a motion, now open. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Sorry, Madam President.
Okay.
We're just looking to
have-
see if there's
I'm
anybody
sorry.
who
Do
wants
you
to
have
speak
any-
on the item. I don't think that there is. Okay,
Okay.
now you can call for close.
Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Move to close.
Second.
Okay, first by Mr. Bell, second by Hoageen, Rose Hoageen. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
15.2, material revision of option for youth, Duarte charter. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Mr. Bell first,
Second.
by Dr. Finley. Any discussion?
Madam President?
Yes.
Oh, actually, I'll defer to any board members who have a comment before I make mine.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody has.
Do you have any,
I guess just if we could just have a brief discussion about why this is coming up as it is.
We can. I'll start, and then I'm looking at Dr. Hillman as she's making herself available. So, the material revision that is before the board this evening, and I do want to make sure that I do recognize that members of our partners from Options for Youth are here in the audience, who also can respond to any questions or concerns from the board. I will just say, and I'm going to kick this over to Dr. Hillman. OFY, Options for Youth, has been a steadfast partner of the school district. We have worked with them to build a relationship within the district through their service center model. They've been exceedingly transparent, responsive, and collaborative with us. This particular material revision was necessary because of a change to a location. So, Dr. Hillman, can you go ahead and speak to that directly?
Absolutely. So as we talked about, OFY is a service center model. As per charter school regulations, anytime that you have, we would have a material revision when there's a change in location for any of these centers. And in this case, the team from OFY informed us that one of their centers, the location was in rental and it was no longer available, or was it going to be torn down. There was going to be some change in the property where that they were currently located. So in order to make that change, what they did, they relocated and they had to come forward with a charter material revision. Consistent with law, we had them go through the entire charter to ensure that we bring up to speed and up to date all the other laws that may have need to be updated in the charter. And I don't know if you have any questions. Our OFY team is here as well.
And that material agreement was, or I guess material change was needed to be addressed even though this was happening outside of our district, because I think the location was outside of Duarte.
Correct. OFY is a center-based school, charter school, and there are 14 centers throughout LA County. As long as these centers are within the County of Los Angeles, they can be chartered under the Duarte Unified School District.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Dr. Emerson, do you have anything to say?
No, I made my statement. Okay. We recommend the support of this material revision.
Okay. A vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
15.3, 2022-23 end of year articulation calendars. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Bell first, second by James. Dr. Finley. Discussion?
Just a quick comment. It gets busy at the end of the year. It really does. I mean, it is exciting to get to. I mean, I remember when I was a student, the end of the year was exciting for a couple reasons. One, summer was coming, and that was always kind of a fun thing. It meant swimming and sprinklers and getting to do all that kind of fun stuff. But it is also exciting because it just seems like there's a lot of animation going on around the schools. There's activities, there's awards, all that kind of stuff. There's promotion, graduation, all that. So as we looked over this articulation calendar, I felt like the calendar on my phone was just weeping a little bit. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be making a lot of stops for fast food for dinner this month. So it's very exciting though.
Anyone else? I know I'm exhausted already. I can't do this anymore. All right, since no one has anything else, okay, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, our business and finance, 16.1, approve sewer relocation agreement, draft bill of sale and draft assessment for the Duarte High School Gymnasium project with the County Sanitation District number 15 of Los Angeles County. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Mr. Bell,
Second.
second by Ms. Hoageen. Discussion?
Yes, and I don't know if this would be for Ms. Bell or who this would be for, but I just kind of wanted to have a brief explanation of this 500-foot portion of sewer and where it's going and why it has to go.
So the brief explanation is that the sewer line is already existing, and where the sports complex is going to come to, it will overlap that particular part. So we have to move the sewer line. We have to move it, so we have to do this part of the, see, I had it real simple and then I complicated it. I was like, I'm gonna do it real easy. it overlaps. So we have to go over to the side, and they said, well, that's not our part, so you have to pay for it. So it's just as simple as that. If we would have left it where it was, then we wouldn't have to pay for it. But because it overlaps that part, we have to pay for that little piece. That's as simple as it is.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
Dr.
that's-
Anderson
Yeah.
has
that's
looked,
pretty
he's
simple.
ready.
No, because it is as simple as that, because since it's a sewer line, it already exists, but because of where it is running, the new building would be on top of it. Well, if you ever need to get to the sewer line, how do you get to the sewer line without demolishing the building that's on top? But if you just simply relocate it to where it's proposed based on Tiffany's team's work, now it's going to run, essentially, it's going to bisect across an athletic field. So then all you'd have to do if you have a sewer line issue is trench up grass and dirt. You can get to the sewer line, fix it, and then cover the dirt back up. So the biggest challenge was who's responsible for it, who's the cost, and you're actually talking about three different jurisdictions. So you're talking about the school district's jurisdiction, you're talking about the city's jurisdiction, and then you're talking about the county sewer jurisdiction, which that's a whole thing. Just like water's a thing, sewers are a thing too. So we had to actually work with our attorneys, because one of the questions that came up, and this is one of the things that Ms. Bell and I ran into, and we partnered with Serene and our partners from Orbach, Huff, and Henderson, is if we just build this new sewer line using our architects, engineers, and our construction managers, will then the county sewer authority come back and say, well, you didn't build it the way we would have built it, so we don't like it, and it's not to code, so you got to do it again. And we would have spent the money and already done it, not realizing that. So then what we actually did was, through council, is we actually reached out to the county folks and we said, do you want to build it? Because they'll build it to your spec, and we'll pay for it. I mean, we'll reimburse you for that. And they said, no, you guys go ahead. So that's how we essentially got here. So that's the granting of the easement to allow the work to happen. And then also remember that in the sequence of this whole thing, we have to do the sewer line before we can build the gym, because you have to move the sewer before you can put the box. So we're just kind of, again, following the sequence of the work to get this all done. And so this is the next step. So hopefully that helps.
Very much. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, if none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, I'm sorry. Okay, we come to the last portion of our meeting, the non-agendized item. I think I'm gonna start with, let's see, who should I start first? I'll start with James today. I'll go down the line, straight line.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Madam President. So as I mentioned a moment ago, this is a busy season for us as board members, and that's because it's a busy season for our schools. There's been loads and loads of really fun activities that have been happening over the last several weeks, and I think the ones that have stood out to me have been the open houses. Those have, it's just, I don't make it to every classroom on the campuses when we go and visit, but I try to make it to a lot of them. And the reason I don't make it to all of them is because it's just so fun to walk around and see the projects that they have. This, I think a lot of people just think school is just papers and books. But when you go into these classrooms, there's so many projects that they're working on. And it is very exciting to see the kind of things that are being taught to our young scholars. And it's, being on the other side of school now, it is so encouraging to see that the stuff that they're doing is going to be so translatable to what they're going to do in the real adult world. I think that sometimes, when you're a kid, I'm sure none of you said this, but I said it. When am I ever going to have to do fill in the blank? When am I ever going to have to know fill in the blank? And I feel like our students are having fewer and fewer opportunities to say that because of the things that they're learning and the way they're learning it in school. So, we just passed this resolution this evening to talk about Day of the Teacher and Week of the Classified Staff, and they are the people that are imparting this knowledge to our students, and it makes me very optimistic about the future of, quite frankly, our planet and of the human race. So really, really exciting stuff to see. I'm particularly jazzed about the jazz festival that's going to be coming up next week. Last year, I was at one of those VIP tables, and I believe I was in the very front row, and I did not hear for about 12 hours afterwards, but I could feel the music coursing through me during that evening. So it really is something I'm looking forward to, and then of course we've got tons of after or end of the school year type activities that we all get to look forward to. So my hat is off to everyone at the different school sites that have made this an amazing year, and I have no doubt are going to make the end of the year even better. So that is my non-agendized item.
Thank you, Dr. Finley. Ms. Hoagie, do you have something to say?
A couple things. As he was saying, there's so much going on right now. I didn't realize how busy schools are. Between the open houses, the track meet, the band, the jazz. I can't keep up with everything going on. And I've been meeting a lot of new people. And I also want to thank a few people that, we forget about, the behind the scenes people, like Miss Bell, Mr. Crosby, and Dr. Hillman. Everywhere I go, I run into one or the other, or sometimes several times. And, I realize we forget about them, but they're in charge of a lot of stuff. They're responsible for a lot of people, a lot of employees, teachers, students, and they do a fantastic job. I'm really, really impressed. I know I haven't said that to you guys, but I am. I watch you, and I appreciate all three of you. And you guys do a great job, and the teachers, everybody does. And thank you, and I'm happy to be here.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bell?
And pretty much likewise, I could repeat some of the things that were said tonight, but I think the thing that really, really grabbed me is I was looking at each of those classrooms. I said, how did the teachers get the time to do all this stuff? I see all of these drawings and writings, and they have them up and on display, and you see the educational system working here in Duarte, and it's just a good feeling to see and hear some of the progress that's been made. And you forget about it because the doors are closed. You see the kids coming in and going home, and you don't think about all the stuff that happens all the time. And it's just a reminder how fortunate I feel like we are in Duarte Unified School District to have the staff and the administration and teachers and the folks who do so much for our young people in this community. And that's what makes Duarte special to me, is that we have special people doing special things all the time. And again, being at the open house is just another example, and we just get a snippet of what really goes on. But you can just imagine that snippet is something that's really going to pay off for us and our families for a long, long time. And again, like I said, I've had 5 of my children educated through this school system, and I tell people all the time, I would not have had my family anywhere else but in Duarte Unified. The whole time, my kids have gotten a great education. I didn't say they were all great kids, but they were great educators. They had a shot at it, but I'm just saying that it just really energizes me to go in and see things that are going on, and knowing that it's still going on in spite of what people may have thinking. And you know what I keep forgetting about? We just came out of a pandemic. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We just came out of where many people died and many people just didn't get a chance. And we're moving strong and strong. And that just means administration on down. I just want to say thank you very much. And again, the open house is like another example, peeping into that prize box and seeing that this is what we're working for as school board members to keep this going. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bells. Let's go with Sophia next.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity and adding me on to the 2030 strategic planning, and for recognizing the importance of having a student voice and trusting my judgment and taking really into account the student perspective, because at the end of the day, I think everything that we do up here and that you all work for is for the students. So I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. It's a learning experience, growing and just learning a lot more. So thank you.
Right.
Okay, thank you, Sophia. Audrey?
I would also like to thank you for allowing me to be part of the strategic planning, and just thank you for everything, because I believe this is both of our second to last meeting here. So just thank you. Yeah, almost there. Thank you.
You're gonna miss them.
So I know Sophia and Audrey are very involved. And Audrey, I've seen you a lot in pictures lately, too. Whenever I see some Instagram or something, you're like the boxing, and you were with Oscar de la Hoya. I remember you were there, too, weren't you? So you're all over, both of you. Very busy girls. Otherwise, I'm going to echo everything. I can say a lot of the same things, but I'm going to echo everybody what they said about this year. It's as a mom, it's just the busiest time of the year. I mean, it's just going each week, and there's some event, and so right now, it's like it's been fun to go to all the open houses for one. All the schools are very different a little bit, so it's kind of fun to see how things are set up in different schools. I mean, from the elementary level to we went to MIT, which was a different, they always have their little barbecue there, which is kind of fun there. But really impressed with the schools that I've seen and how hard these educators work and how creative they are. I mean, just yesterday, we went to Maxwell, how creative these teachers are and the presentation. And I'm going to say echo that from all the schools. I was really impressed also Royal Oaks, with the STEAM class too. I went into what grade is that? It's a seventh grade? Seventh and eighth. Yes, very impressed with the STEAM there with Mr. Way. So otherwise, it just, it's just before just week by week, there's so many things to do. But I was going to thank, just last weekend with Skills USA in Ontario, and I just wanted to thank the teachers that actually chaperoned the two kids. One of them was my son, of course, and then another one was Jalissa. And it was a long weekend. I mean, it's a weekend full of all kinds of things. I had to drive the kids around to take pictures. Well, my son to take pictures all in Ontario, even though they didn't necessarily place. It was a great event, and my son loved it. I mean, and I feel like next year maybe we can get more kids involved, because it was a fun event for them, and they had to work hard. I mean, it wasn't something they had some fun, but they were doing the work and the design, and they got to meet. And also, there was like a chance to meet other schools too, in other districts. So I just wanted to thank Mr. Y, Kevin Morris, and is it Boostros or Boostros? They were wonderful, and my son had the best. He's going to have a great memory from this last weekend. And the jazz Moonlight, Under the Moonlight is coming up. Fabulous event. Pretty much all of us were there last year. Great food. We're looking forward to it. I know I want to bring more people to this, because it was just the best. It was so professional, and you can't beat our high school teacher, music teacher, Mr. Limon. He is amazing. I'm going to go back to the band concert we just saw this week too. Standing room only, almost. You can high five the kids next to you. I mean, it was warm in there. You're right, but it goes to show you how many kids really like them. I'm hoping this sticks, so we have a huge band. That's what I'm hoping for. Is our band is it's a little smaller than other school districts, but we'll get that huge band eventually. But you can tell how much our teachers, or Mr. Limon, Edo, is my name pronounced Edo, and Raphael. Yeah, they're passionate. You can tell how passionate they were when they were working with those kids, and it just shows, and how much they love it. They really do love what they're doing. So, and that's pretty much it for me. I've just been, like I said, really impressed the last, I'm gonna say month, I guess. And we still have some more open houses to go. I think we have one left, don't we, DHS? So looking forward to that too. All right, thank you. And
Yeah, there's a couple of open houses left. I think child development tomorrow,
Oh,
child
that's
development
right.
tomorrow evening,
Preschool
preschool tomorrow evening, and the DHS next week. So my final comments. I'm also very much looking forward to. I'm also very much looking forward to Jazz Under the Stars, I think it's called, Jazz Under the Moonlight. So interestingly enough, last year I was very upset because I was sitting at a table with Dr. Finley, and he was in front of me. So I'm like, how do I end up with the tallest guy in the house in front of me? But actually, at the end of the day, I'm actually happy because I retained all my hearing because I didn't hear or see anything because he was in front of me. So that worked out just fine. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a great event. I meant to do this earlier, and so again, the sage wisdom of a wonderful assistant is like pointing to a piece of paper that I was supposed to talk about earlier. Tracy was here earlier, and so hopefully she'll read this, or she'll see this on the stream again. Tracy Hall, her work to coordinate the district's track meet, our team, our leaders, our principals, who work to get all of the kids and all of the families organized to do a district-wide track meet. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of volunteers. It takes a lot of time and effort and energy. And so I wanted to take a moment just to announce the winners of the district's track meet from last weekend. So in fourth place, Beardsley IB Academy. In third place, Royal Oaks STEAM Academy. In second place, Maxwell IB Academy, which means the winner of the district track meet was, drum roll please, Valley View Academy. Valley View Academy was
The Dolphins
first
get
place.
it.
The Dolphins reign
Yes.
as champions. So my last couple of comments, and I know that Audrey made a good point just a moment ago, where it's like it's kind of coming to an end, and there's like only a couple of meetings left, and I said it. I'm going to say it again. I feel that we have been richly blessed as a board and as a community to have two such standout student board representatives. Their talents are just like immense, and they're just sharp as a tack. I think in my 5 years in this seat and listening to lots of student board addresses, I think by far both of yours are the most comprehensive. They're the most thorough. They're the most insightful that I've seen in my time of being here. And so that's a testament to you all and your preparation, your principals, the support staff that's helping, make sure you have all the information that you need. So again, kudos to you. And then one last thing, hidden talent. Audrey is an amazing softball player. She's got one of the best swings I think I've ever seen. And she turns into you know how quiet she is right now, right? When she gets on the softball field, she's like a terror, man. Like, she starts yelling at people. She starts giving directions and all kinds of stuff. I was like, who are you? But when she gets on the softball field, different person, which is super cool. Just super cool. So congrats, and thank you, Madam President. That's the conclusion of my comments tonight.
Okay, I guess now it's just adjourning the meeting. So do we have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
So moved.
Dr. Finley? Do we have a second? Mr. Bell?
Yes, second.
Okay. Any more discussion? No more discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I guess everyone, motion carried. We can go home now.
All right, thank you, board.
Have, good night, everyone.
Right. Oh, boy. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I gotta pack. I gotta start packing. Oh, that's right.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Whew.
I know.
Don't forget your...
Oh, the 90s.
Your sunglasses on. Your sunglasses.